Well, hello there. Today's video is rather exciting because I have teamed up with Ferris Wheel Press to host a very special giveaway. So if you would like the chance to win some lovely art supplies, stay tuned until the end of the video to learn more. Or you could just skip ahead. But before we get into that, I've recently been wanting to paint some backgrounds, or at least characters with backgrounds. I draw a lot of characters mostly just on their own with nothing behind them, partially out of lack of inspiration and partially out of pure laziness. So I made a poll asking whether I should make up a character with a background or paint a scene from a film. And most of you chose the latter, which I'm quite glad about because it's been a while since I painted a film scene. So when it came to deciding what film to paint a scene from, I knew I wanted to choose a film I like, obviously, but also one I thought matched my aesthetic and actually inspired me to draw. At first I wanted to choose a vintage film from the 50s or 60s like Umbrellas of Cherbourg or High Society or even the 1950s War and Peace. But then I thought for this video it would probably be best to pick something that most of my viewers would be more familiar with. So I chose the 2015 adaptation of Cinderella. Cinderella is one of my favourite films, just second to Lord of the Rings. I watched it in the cinema for the first time when I was about 15 and I just loved it straight away. And if you haven't seen it, you definitely should. So anyway, when it came to choosing which scene to paint, I knew I wanted to paint both Ella and Kit. And also I wanted to paint Ella in her maiden dress. I do love her ball gown, but I just wasn't really in the mood to draw a big gown, and I prefer the pastel blue colour of her working dress. So I chose the scene where Ella and Kit first meet in the forest, and I saw this screenshot which I thought was really sweet. That being said, there is not much for background in this image. It's really just a hazy blur of trees and sunlight, which to recreate mostly consists of Bob Ross style pat painting, which is one of those techniques where you really have to trust the process. It's not a background that I could really stylize, which is okay because the point of this painting session was not just the background itself, but to do some more practicing of drawing characters actually interacting within an environment. Because for me, I really like the way my character drawings look on a plain paper background. I like my art style, but for some reason when I draw a character in a scene, they don't look as good, or at least to me they don't. Well, they don't quite look the same is what I mean. To be honest, I even thought that whilst working on this painting, I liked it in the sketch and the line art phase, but when I started to colour it in, particularly the characters themselves, I don't know, I wasn't completely happy with how it was looking. I've drawn Ella before a couple of years ago, without a background, and I was really pleased with her, but this time, I don't know, I wasn't too thrilled with how they were looking. I think one of the reasons being I drew their side profiles. I prefer drawing characters more front-facing. And also I find that when I'm referencing a specific image, not just the main subject but the entire scene, that I'm not able to be as creative or imaginative as I usually like to be when illustrating. So I didn't feel quite as enthusiastic while working on this painting as I usually do. This was only at first though, mind you, because by the time I added the highlights and painted in the blue dress, I started feeling a bit more hopeful and thinking, ah yes, it's all coming together. And by the time I'd finished it, I was actually quite happy with it. So I suppose the lesson here is don't give up, trust the process, and don't judge a project until it's finished. However, I do think it would have looked better if I had painted it on my watercolour paper, because as you can see, the paper you use really does make the difference, and I think if you have to choose between good quality paints or good quality paper, then the paper should come first. But I just painted this in my sketchbook because I've been wanting to paint more in my sketchbook, and this was meant to be just a fun little practice piece that I'd probably never use for anything anyway, so oh well, I'm sure there'll be many other opportunities to be able to use my fancy paper in the future. Speaking of fancy art supplies, let's talk about the reason you've probably clicked on this video, the giveaway. You might recognize Ferris Wheel Press from appearing in a few of my videos. That is because I've been one of their artist ambassadors for almost a year now, and I love using their inks. They're really good quality and come in beautiful packaging, so after I'm done using them they look rather posh on my shelf. So Ferris Wheel Press have kindly agreed to give one of my subscribers a special prize. That prize being one 38ml bottle of everyday ink and one carousel fountain pen, and the winner gets to choose the colour of both. So if you would like a chance to win, here's how to enter. First, you have to be subscribed to both mine and Ferris Wheel Press YouTube channel. Second, you have to comment underneath this video what your 3 favourite Ferris wheel inks are. Which one would you choose if you won? I'll leave a link to their website in the description so you can browse for yourself and choose. The closing date will be the 8th of March 2024, and Ferris Wheel will be choosing and contacting the winner themselves. So make sure you have some sort of email address or social media handle in the About section of your YouTube channel so they can message you to let you know you've won. I'm really excited and I hope to see as many entries as possible, and thank you to Ferris Wheel Press for sponsoring this giveaway. And we come to the end of the video. This video was a bit different than usual, a bit more relaxed and chatty, which is a type of video I would like to make more of in the future. Just talking about my painting process and chatting about artsy things. So, thank you for watching this video and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!